Lake Toba is the largest volcanic caldera lake in the world. Located in North Sumatra Province of Northern Sumatra, Indonesia, Lake Toba offers breathtaking panorama with bluish water and clean air with rural surroundings. Its unique geography makes the land surrounding Lake Toba hardly accessible and insulated from the historic kingdoms and polities before the independence of Indonesia. How does the mountainous geography and challenging communication around Lake Toba makes the land culturally and religiously different from the rest of Sumatra? Let's take a ride on a boat and understand of how geography of Lake Toba shaped the culture and transportation in Batak homeland in North Sumatra. Lake Toba, or locally known as Danau Toba, is the largest caldera lake in the world and the largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia. The only outlet, Asahan River, started at the southeast of the lake that makes Lake Toba remains as a freshwater lake. Samosir Island in the middle of the lake is the largest island within a lake on an island in the world since 1913 after Tanah Ponggol Canal cut Samosir from the rest of Sumatra. By looking at the intensity of Lake Toba, how big and wide it is beyond human imagination that a volcano so tall could collapse and shape a caldera so big and filled with water to form a lake. The lake that was formed after the mega eruption that caused the collapse of ancient Mount Toba around 74,000 years ago. Mount Toba is a former volcano that once upon a time stood tall in the middle of northern part of Bukit Barisan Mountains. The mountains itself was shaped by the Great Sumatran Fault, as Sumatra is partly located on Pacific Ring of Fire. The eruption of Mount Toba caused immediate destruction in the region and global climatic change, as the ashes covered the area about 4 million square kilometers of the airspace. After the mega eruption, Mount Toba collapsed and the caldera was eventually filled with water from the rainfall and rivers. The impact of Toba volcanic eruption spread beyond the island of Sumatra. Across the Strait of Malacca, ancient human settlements in Lenggong was buried under the thick ash, causing the extermination of ancient humans in the area. I talked about ancient history of Lenggong, Perak in the previous video where ancient humans were exterminated after the eruption of Mount Toba around 74,000 years ago. Spewed ash that covers the earth and the sky. Nothing shines and nothing lives. If you want to know more about the World Heritage Site in Lenggong, you can watch the video, the link is up here. The area around Lake Toba is mainly inhabited by an indigenous ethnic Batak who call the land around Caldera and Samosir Island in the middle as their homeland. Based on the local folklore, Batak people has settled by Lake Toba since the 30th century when King of Batak settled near Cianjur Mula-Mula, near the place where the land between Samosir and the mainland Sumatra is the narrowest. There are other versions of the origin of Batak people such as in Mandailing folklore, but that is for another story. According to Song Dynasty era Chinese officer Zhao Ruoguo, who wrote Zhu Fanzhe between 1224 until 1225, one of the vessels of Sriwijaya Empire is the Kingdom of Batak. In the book Summa Oriental, written by Portuguese apothecaries Tomé Pires between 1512 and 1515, Kingdom of Pasai is bordered by Kingdom of Batak on one side. Batak people had a fearsome reputation among the surrounding kingdoms, including the perpetrated practice of cannibalism. Geographically, Toba caldera form a natural fortress that makes the large-scale military expedition difficult if not outright impossible. Located high in the highlands 2,200 meters from the sea level, Lake Toba environs has a chilly climate in contrast with the hot and humid tropical weather in the Sumatran lowlands. The only major river flowing between Lake Toba and the sea to the east is Asahan River, but the river is known for its rapids and waterfalls such as Segura-Gura waterfall. Therefore, Asahan River is unnavigable by the boat from the sea to Lake Toba. Because of the isolation shaped by the steep caldera surrounded by the mountains in the dense jungle, Batak homeland around Lake Toba maintained its relative independence for centuries. Sumatra witnessed the rise and fall of the kingdoms on the island throughout the history such as Sriwijaya, Aceh and Delhi Sultanate. As a result, Batak homeland around Lake Toba was never ruled by any Sumatran-based kingdoms nor witnessed conversion to Islam as in the rest of Sumatra. The earliest Western missionary report was written in 1824 by Richard Burton and Nathaniel Ward that visited Batak homeland for 2 weeks. They wrote of the pre-Christian culture, daily life and judgment, which includes the heavy punishment of being eaten. Cannibalism. Due to its isolation and relatively difficult to reach by land, Batak people withstood any attempts of conquest and religious conversion until the 19th century. A breakthrough came when a Danish-born preacher, Ingvar Ludwig Nonmansen, arrived in Sumatra in the year 1862 and gradually spread Christianity into the Batak homeland. According to the official Batak Christian Protestant Church or HKBP Church history, Normansen saved a girl from cannibalism in Segumpar, and he himself was almost faced the similar fate in Tarutong in the year 1864. Today, there are numerous Christian denominations exist around Lake Toba as the other missionary groups enter the highland and spread the Christianity, which explains why there are so many churches around Lake Toba. Due to the 19th century missionary efforts, Batak homeland around Lake Toba is the only Christian majority area in Sumatra Island, in a country where an ethnic and its culture is strongly related to a religion. Christianity is embraced as the preserver of the Batak culture. However, the demographic change happened when roads have been eventually built to link Lake Toba with the rest of North Sumatra Province, West Sumatra to the south and Aceh to the northwest. As a result, there are influx of Malay and Javanese Muslims into the Caldera, but Batak remains the majority. I was in Parapat on Sunday and the religious diversity can be felt early in the morning. Just right after the end of Subuh prayer at a nearby mosque, church bells start to ring. A kind of blessing that peace is possible in a land of many faiths. Lake Toba is experiencing a surge in tourism and better connectivity as the Caldera Lake is better connected to the outside world than ever before. Enlisted as one of the national strategic tourism area, Lake Toba received high priority as to promote tourist destination in Indonesia other than Bali. Parapat on the eastern coast of Lake Toba is the major tourism center near the lake, as it is the nearest town with the road to Pematang Siantar and newly built expressway to Medan, the provincial capital. Numerous hotels and resorts are located in Parapat as it is a resort town since the Dutch colonization era in the early 20th century. There are challenges to make Parapat a world-class tourist destination: narrow and windy main road, language barrier, unreliable public transportation, limited tourist attraction, absence of disabled-friendly access and not enough skilled workers in the tourism sector. Due to its unique geography, Lake Toba was recognized as UNESCO Global Geopark on July 2020 due to its unique geographical features that deserve a sustainable development, conservation and environmental protection. The designation as a UNESCO Global Geopark is expected to increase the number of tourists to visit the caldera with a chilly climate and clear blue sky. Clear blue sky. Blue sky? Blue sky. The road is windy and narrow due to steep caldera, soft volcanic soil that complicates any construction, and Caldera's protected status as UNESCO Global Geopark. When the two buses met head to head, there is barely inches of clearance. Because the road is windy and narrow that prone to accidents, boats and ships ferry the people and vehicles across the lake. The speed of ship might not as fast as cars and buses, at least the breathtaking view of Lake Toba makes the cruise more relaxing than the dangerous, windy and dizzying road encircling the lakeside. However, Indonesia has a patchy ship safety record due to overcrowding, too many people in one boat, aging fleet and lacks of enforcement due to corruption. This is an open secret in the country. In 2018, KM Sinar Bangun was sank in the northeast part of Lake Toba due to bad weather and overcrowding. Later investigation found that the ship was sailing without proper documentation, albeit the ship is properly registered, unauthorized renovation and overcrowding of about 188 people in a boat that authorized to carry 45. At least 161 people were missing and presumed drowned in the lake. Only 21 survived. When I read the article, when the ship sailed back to Parapat, the ship that I rode suddenly stopped in the middle of the lake and the engine is not running. Let's talk about food. Local food is predominant in Lake Toba. Just forget about avocado toast. Batak food specialty includes non-halal food such as karo roast pig or bapeka, saksang which is pork in blood stew, and pagit-pagit. Pagit-pagit is a kind of vegetable stew made with coconut, spices and its main ingredient, which is partially digested grass found in a cow's stomach. To accommodate Muslims living by the caldera and local tourists, halal food is available by the caldera as well. For example, you can eat at Putrajaya, opposite a istana or palace. Other than tourism and cottage industries, there are relatively little industrial activities that kept the pristiness of Lake Toba, water and air. However, the pristiness could be jeopardized by the increasing pollution, albeit with little industrial activities. Increasing population means more domestic garbage, sewage and chemical fertilizers may enter the lake, reducing the water quality. Introduction of non-native fish into Lake Toba either by mistake or by aquaculture may cause an imbalance in the lake ecosystem. One of noticeable industrial activities near Lake Toba is a pig farm operated by PT Allegrindo Nusantara near Simarjarunjung. Perhaps a more recognizable brand is produced about 50 kilometers north of Lake Toba, which is a spring water bottling factory. Located on the foot of active Sibayak volcano, the factory bottled the most popular mineral water brand in Indonesia, Aqua. Feel the burst! New expressway linking Parapat and Pematang Siantar with the rest of Trans Sumatra Toll Road is under construction and scheduled to open by 2028, reducing the travel time from 3 hours and a half to just 1 hour and a half, in theory. In practice, the current trunk road took way more than 3 hours due to narrow road, steep cliff and shops along the road that caused the traffic to slow down. The new toll road and the airport should make the trip to Lake Toba more convenient and faster than before. Other than the road, communication lines are present around Lake Toba in the form of telecommunication and internet access. Dotted by small towns and villages, internet connectivity around Lake Toba is quite decent given that the area is primarily rural. When the expressway between Medan and Parapat is complete, scheduled in 2028, and more luxurious hotels are built near the Lake Toba, it is expected that more foreign tourists will visit Lake Toba in the future. Americans and Europeans who visited Lake Toba may found that the Caldera Lake Highlands dotted with churches is less resembling Bali's mystical, spiritual, tropical retreat and more resembling the Oregon's Pacific Northwest coast. Almost heaven. If you want to visit Lake Toba, the lake is located in central North Sumatra Province of Indonesia. International visitors visit Lake Toba via Kuala Namu International Airport, the second largest airport in Indonesia, of which the airport serves Medan, the largest city in Sumatra Island. Lake Toba is mainly connected by road to Medan via Pematang Siantar and Brastagi, together with the roads that lead to Lake Toba from Siborong-Borong and Sidikalang. There is an international airport at Silangit, about 40 km south of Parapat, but there is no international flight to Silangit Airport since 2020. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something new about Lake Toba and its unique geography that makes the Caldera one of the unique places worthy to visit in Indonesia. Thank you so much for watching again and see you in the next video.